تعجل بالقرآن من قبل أن يقضى إليك وحيه وقل رب زدني علما.
So Shaykh Al-Uthaymeen, he says here that now you have the affirmation of Allah being above His throne, and you have the affirmation of Allah being with the creation. So how would we combine between these two? How then? How, if somebody now says to you, how? These mubtadi'ah, the people of innovation who are misguided upon these points, these are the kinds of things they want to come and debate with you with all the time. These are the kinds of things they want to argue with you about. So when they come to you now and say, you guys, you Salafis don't know what Aqidah is. How can you say Allah is above and then Allah tells us in the Quran He is with us? How do you explain that? So what are you going to do? How are you going to explain it now? So here we have three possible methods. Take a note of this. This is the reality, the basis of knowledge. These are basics of Aqidah. You know, when some deviant comes up to you now and they want to debate you and they want to put doubts in your mind, you need to know these answers. It is not just screaming and shouting. You need to have knowledge and evidence. So here now there are 3 points you could mention here. Al-awwal, أنه ذكر استواءه على العرش ثم قال وهو معكم أينما كنتم وإذا جمع الله لنفسه بين وصفين فإننا نعلم علم اليقين أنهما لا يتناقضان. That is what we've already just mentioned. The first point is, the first thing to clarify to any deviant or any misguided individual who just doesn't understand, bringing up these doubts, the first thing you clarify to him is, brother, you understand that in the Quran there cannot possibly be any contradiction. That is the first point. You agree with him. You agree with me, surely there is no contradiction in the Quran. If Allah has told us He is above, He is above. If Allah has told us He is with us, He is with us. There cannot possibly be any contradiction in the Quran. Because if they contradicted each other, then that would mean we have two parts of the Quran that cannot be understood together. There's a contradiction in the Quran, and that cannot be the case. إِذْ الْمُتَنَاقِضَيْنِ لَا يَجْتَمِعَانِ وَلَا يَرْتَفِعَانِ. When you have two things opposing each other, they cannot come together. You cannot bring harmony between two opposites. They're opposing each other. And the only way, when you have an absolute contradiction between two things and there is no way to bring harmony between them, then the only solution to get any harmony would be to let one go. You would have to remove one. If there's an absolute contradiction, no way to combine, then the only solution you would have left is to get rid of one. And that is impossible when it comes to the Quran. We're not going to say this ayah, that's it, neglect it, remove it from the Mus'haf. A'udhu billah. Impossible to say that. فلا بد من وجود أحدهما وانتفاء الثاني ولو كان هناك تناقض لزم أن يكون أول الآية مكذبا لآخرها أو بالعكس. So if you were going to start saying there's contradiction in the Quran, then you would end up having to say that the first part of this ayah where Allah tells us He is above contradicts the end of the ayah when Allah tells us He is with you. The same ayah you're going to claim is contradicting itself. And that is impossible. So the first thing to note with all of these discussions, that you highlight to the person that there is certainly no contradiction in the Quran. Secondly, أنه قد يجتمع العلو والمعية في المخلوقات كما سيذكره المؤلف في قول الناس ما زلنا نسير والقمر معنا. Being above and being with aboveness and withness can occur within creation. And if that is a concept that can occur within creation, then easily it can occur for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How can it occur in creation that something is above you but it's also with you? They have an example they mention sometimes, Nasiru wal qamaru ma'ana, that we were walking and the moon was with us all night. We walked, we were traveling during the night, and the moon was with us all night. So the moon was with you. It was right there in the sky. Wherever you travel, it's right there in the sky. It's with you wherever you go. So the moon is with you wherever you go. Yet at the same time, it is above you. The moon is above you, but you can say that we were walking all night and the moon was with us all night. Because no matter where you go, just look up and the moon is right there still. A full moon night. So that is possible in creation. You may use the concept of something being with you but being above you, and it completely applies. Yes, the moon is above you. Yes, the moon was with you all night. The third explanation. So that second explanation is basically saying, if that is something which can easily be understood in creation, then even easier for it to be understood regarding the Creator. Thirdly, low furida. Let's say now they keep arguing, they say, no, it's impossible. That example of the moon doesn't work. It's impossible. You cannot be above and also be with. Impossible. Imagine they go down that line and they simply will not agree. They say it is impossible to be with someone but also be above that individual. Then we say to them, okay. This is the third argument. You say to them, okay, maybe you're right then. Maybe it is impossible for something to be above but also to be with. If I agree with you that is impossible, then we are talking about which realm. That is impossible in which realm? We're talking about this dunya. As far as we can see in our logic and our intellect, that we cannot see something in creation being with you but also being above you. So in the creational sense, perhaps okay, maybe then, all right. Maybe that can't happen in the creation. Maybe that is something we do not witness or see in the creation. But does that necessitate, therefore, that what we are restricted by in creation is going to be a restriction for Allah the Creator? No, you cannot say that. So just because something we think is impossible in creation does not necessitate it is impossible for Allah. So the third argument, لو فرض تعارضهما بالنسبة للمخلوق لم يلزم ذلك بالنسبة للخالق لأن الله ليس كمثله شيء. So even if we were to agree that okay, it's not possible to be with and to be above in the creation, we cannot understand that occurring or see that. No problem. But that does not necessitate that this restriction is then applicable to Allah. Allah is the Creator. What we may perceive as a restriction and an impossibility for us does not necessitate it to be the case for Allah. So, three possible explanations there.